Hello everyone, my name is Abhishek and I'm maths faculty here at askIITians. So you all are most welcome to this session number 2 of chapter construction of class 9. And before we delve into the subtopics of this chapter, it's very important for us to visit or to revisit the when it comes to the weightage or weightage of schools, like when it comes to the weightage in school examination and in the Olympiad examination. That's very important for us to go through, right? So if I talk about school examination, you can expect questions carrying around 3 to 4 marks from this particular chapter. And if I talk about Olympiad examination, you can expect around one question. As I told you in the last session as well, this chapter is not that important from the point of view of Olympiad. It's more important from the point of view of your school examination. All right. So let us see which topics are we going to cover in today's session. So in today's session, we have two topics. Okay. In the last session as well, I'm talking about lecture number 1 of this particular chapter. We learn construction of a triangle when you are provided the base and you are provided one of the base angle. And apart from that, when you are provided the sum of other two sides, we learn how that particular triangle can be constructed. Here we have two more cases. Both the cases are important. You cannot ignore them. All right. So the first case which we are going to cover is like how a triangle can be constructed when you are provided base, you are provided base angle, and you are provided difference of other two sides. In the last case, we learn when you are provided base, you are provided base angle, and you are provided the sum of other two sides. Here we are talking about difference of other two sides. So there is a variation. Okay, there is a change here. And the second topic that we are going to cover is construction of a triangle. When you are given its perimeter, what's the meaning of perimeter? Means sum of all three sides. Sum of all three sides. So when you are given its perimeter, that means you are provided sum of all the three sides of the triangle, and you are also provided its two base angle. Then how that particular triangle can be constructed, that's what we are going to discuss in this session. The second topic is more important. Okay, it's more important if I compare it with the second second one. Okay, if I compare it with this one, then this one is very important. When you are given perimeter and you are provided two base angle, then how that triangle can be constructed. All right. So I think we should move ahead and learn how these constructions can be done. So check out. We have first case, and in case number 1 we are going to have two sub cases. All right. So given its base, we are provided a base, and apart from base we are provided one of the base angle, and you are provided the difference of the other two sides. Now when we are saying difference of other two sides, we have two possibilities. For example, here we are provided BC, okay, and you are provided AB minus AC. Like that can be one of the case. And what is the second case? The second case is when you are provided AC minus AB. Are you getting this? In one situation, your AB is greater than AC, so we are provided AB minus AC. In the second case, your AC will be greater than AB, and we will be provided AC minus AB. So how construction can be done in that situation, that's what we are going to learn. All right. So this is the case if AB is greater than AC, and you are provided AB minus AC, then how the particular triangle can be constructed. Check out. So there are some steps. In the very first step, what you have to do, you have to draw base BC. So here we have assumed the length of base BC to be equal to a centimeter. So let us assume this is your BC. Clear? This is B. This is C. So this line segment BC, it has length equal to a centimeter. Understood? That is going to be your very first step here. And because we are provided one of the base angle as well here, and in this case, we have assumed that base angle to be x degree. That x degree could be any acute angle that we are talking about here. Okay. So, and at point B make an angle equals to angle XBC, which is equal to x degree. So that means what you have to do is you have to make angle, you have to assume B as a center, and assuming B as a center, you have to make an angle equals to x degree. Okay, if this angle x degree, it's a multiple of 15, I would recommend that you use compass to draw that. But if it is not a multiple of 15 degree, you can use your protractor as well. Okay, so here at point B, you have to make angle equals to 60 degrees. So let's say this is the angle. Okay, and this is x. So this xbc that you have, this angle is equal to x degree. Understood? That is your step number one. Clear? So in step number one, you have to draw base. Okay, you will be provided the length. After that, you have to make the angle which is given to you in the problem. These are the first two steps that you have here. What is step number two? In step number two, from ray bx. So this is ray that we are talking about. We are talking about ray bx here. We are talking about this bx. Okay. Cut the line segment BD, which is equal to AB minus AC. So AB minus AC will be provided to you guys. Okay. AB minus AC will be provided to you here. And here we are assuming that this AB minus AC that you have, that is equals to B centimeter. Okay. Just for the sake of simplicity, we are assuming that the difference of the two sides when AB is greater than AC is equal to B centimeter. So what you have to do is you have to assume B as a center. Okay, assuming B as a center, you have to mark an arc of radius equal to the difference of two sides, that is equal to B centimeter. Let us call it D. So this BD that you have, it will be equals to what? This will be equal to B centimeter. Understood? Clear? What is the next step? In the next step, that's step number 3, you have to join DC. So let us join DC using ruler. Clear? And after that, you have to draw the perpendicular bisector of DC. We all learn how perpendicular bisector of any line segment can be drawn. So to draw perpendicular bisector of BC, what I have to do first, I have to assume, let's say, C as a center. And assuming C as a center and taking arc length equals to more than half of CD, I have to make my first arc at the above CD and one arc below CD. Clear? Then what do I have to do? I have to assume D as a center and taking the same arc length or taking the same arc of same radius, you have to mark one more arc again at top and at below or below this CD. These two arcs are going to cut each other at one point. You have to join them using a straight line. So let me join them. So I'm drawing a rough figure. When you will draw it using construction instrument, you will see it very clearly. Mhm. All right, so I will modify this. Okay. So we have this. Okay, this is what you will come across. Okay, this is perpendicular bisector actually. Now we have our last step. What is that last step? That's a step number 4. You know, this perpendicular bisector intersect BX at A. So it is going to intersect this BX that you have at some point, and we are calling that point as A. Clear? Now you have to join A to C. So this point A that you have, we need to join to C using a ruler. Clear? One second. Let me redraw. So we have joined using a ruler, and after joining A and C using a ruler, you will automatically get your required triangle, that is A, B, and C. So if you have observed, like the problem is very, very simple. You just need to make sure that the construction that you are doing in each and every step must be correct. If that is correct, I believe there is no reason for you to like lose mark in this type of problem. Please go through it and ask me if you have a query before we move ahead and take the second case that we have here. Is it done? All right. So now we have second situation, as I told you earlier as well. We have second situation, and in this second situation, we are provided that AB is lesser than AC. So if AB is lesser than AC, then AC will be greater than AB. It's very natural, right? So you are provided AC minus AB, or you are provided this value. So if you are provided AC minus AB, how this construction can be done, that's what we are going to learn. And this construction is very similar to the last construction. Okay, so in step one, we are first going to draw BC only. Okay, here you can assume BC to be a unit only. Okay, so let's say this is your BC. One second. Let's say this is your BC. Understood? BC. Okay, and BC I am assuming to be equals to a centimeter. Understood? After that, you at point B, you have to make angle XBC, which is equal to the angle which is provided to you in the problem. And here, for the sake of simplicity, I'm taking that angle to be X degree. And this step is very similar to the first case. Okay. So this is the situation you have. Okay. Let's say this is X degree and this point is X. Clear? Now, what we have to do in step two, from the ray BX, you have to cut the line segment BD that must be equal to the difference AC minus AB. Is that clear? And after that, from the line BX, by extending it on the opposite side of the line segment BC. So what are they saying, guys? Read it again. From the ray BX. So they are talking about this ray, which is BX. Understood? You have to cut line segment BD, and the length of BD must be equal to AC minus AB from the line BX by extending it on the opposite side of the line segment BC. So basically, what you have to do first is you have to extend this particular line segment BX on the opposite side. Clear? Let's say I extended it. Now, assuming this point to be the center, you have to mark an arc equal to the difference of AC and AB, which I am assuming to be B centimeter here. So this point I am calling D. So this length BD will be equal to B centimeter. That is what we need to do. So the difference in this case, in this particular step, and the last case is that in the last case, we were marking this arc, which is equal to the difference provided above BC, but here the difference has been marked below BC, like that's the only difference. What needs to be done after this? After this, in step three, you need to join DC. So you can join DC using ruler. Clear? And after that, you need to draw the perpendicular bisector of DC. Okay, we all know how perpendicular bisector is drawn, assuming D to be the center and taking more than half arc length of DC. You have to mark one arc above DC and one below DC. Clear? Then assuming C to be the center, taking the same arc length, you have to mark one arc here, second arc here. You have to join them. Yeah, you have to join them. What will happen? This line PQ that we have drawn, we are calling it P, we are calling it Q. This is going to intersect BX at some point, and we are going to call that point as A. So this point has been called A. All you need to do is you need to join A to C using ruler. If you join it, so here you will observe that AC minus AB will be equals to what? That will be equals to B centimeter. That is the difference which we were provided. So if you observe this case and the last case very carefully, all the steps except one step are similar. And that one step is, in the last case, we were marking that arc above this BC, right? Here we are marking that arc below this BC. That's the only difference, except that I believe rest of the things are very similar. Clear? Go through it and ask me if you have any query, guys. Done? All right. So now we have an example. We have one example here. You have to construct a triangle if its base, a base angle, and the difference of other two sides are provided. So what's the difference of two sides are given? So we have ABC here, 60 degree. You have difference of two side, which is 1.7 centimeter. And the base is BC, which is equal to 5 centimeter here. One second. Base is equal to BC, which is equal to 5 centimeter, right? So we have to draw this. Let's see how we can draw it. Okay. So what should be our first step? As we observed, we have to first draw this BC, which is equal to 5 centimeter. So let's say, guys, this is BC, and this BC is equal to what? This BC is equal to 5 centimeter. Understood? And we are provided the value of angle ABC. So you have to make this angle ABC. So angle ABC is 60 degree, which is a multiple of 15. So we can easily draw it. So mark one arc of any radius here. Then assuming this to be the center, mark this arc. Okay. Then this first arc is going to give you 60 degree. Clear? This first arc is going to give you 60 degree. So that is your 60 degree. Understood? Now, what is the difference between AB and AC we have? The difference between AB and AC that we are provided here is equals to 1.7 centimeter. So what do we need to do? You have to assume B to be the center. And assuming B to be the center, you have to mark one arc here. Let me call it BX. Okay. So you can observe here, you have to assume B to be the center, mark one arc equals to the difference on this line segment you have. Okay. So assuming B to be the center, you have to mark one arc whose length is equals to the difference provided, that is equals to 1.7 centimeter. So let's say this is the arc you have, and I'm going to call this point R. Okay. So after doing this, so this BR that you have, what's the length of BR? BR will be equal to 1.7 centimeter. Understood? Now what needs to be done? You need to join RC. You need to join RC. Clear? Using a ruler. So let's say this is your RC. So what we need to do after this, we are very close to the final steps. What we need to do after this, we need to draw perpendicular bisector of RC. So assuming C to be the center and taking more than half of the length of RC, let's say this is one of the arc above RC, this is the second arc below RC. Then assuming R to be the center, let's say this is one of the arc above RC, one of the arc below RC, and these two arcs are going to cut each other. So what you have to do is you have to join them using a straight line. So if you join them using a straight line, you might get something like this. Okay. This is what you will get. Clear? Now I am going to extend this line segment that I have, or ray that I have, further so that we can see the intersection of both of them. One second. Okay. That's your X. All right. Now we are at the final step. In the final step, what you need to do, you need to join this point of intersection. We are calling this point of intersection as A. You need to join this A to C using ruler. Okay. We joined A to C using ruler. So when you will join A to C using ruler, you will get your required triangle, and all the properties will be satisfied here. So the triangle is ABC. Angle B will be equals to 60 degree. ABC is equal to 5 centimeter. And the difference here you are going to have of AB and AC, that will be equals to 1.7 centimeter. Is that clear? So here AB minus AC is going to be equal to 1.7 centimeter. So we are done with this. I hope it's clear. Please go through it before I show you the step-by-step solution for this. Done? All right. So here you can see the step-by-step solution for this particular problem. What they did first, they drew one ray BC, which is equal to 5 centimeters. So this is your BC that you have. With B as a center and any radius, they mark, like basically they are trying to make 60° here. So they are able to draw 60°, right? Then what they did is, on this ray that they have, they marked this BD, which is equal to the difference which is provided to us, that's equals to 1.7 centimeter. They joined CD, they drew perpendicular bisector of CD. That perpendicular bisector is intersecting this BD at A. And after that, all you need to do is you need to join A to C to obtain your required triangle ABC. So if you join A to C, you will get your required triangle ABC. This is exactly similar to the way we did it. But yes, if you will do it using construction instruments, okay, compass, ruler, protractor, etc., your figure is going to be perfect. Okay. And one more thing here, and that thing is, please make sure that you go through each and every steps thoroughly, because they can ask you to mention the steps of construction in your examination, and you can only write them properly if you have gone through them or you have practiced writing the steps of construction with few problems. Okay, don't take anything for granted. That's what I'm trying to say. All right. So next we have construction of triangle. Very, very important. I told you in the very beginning as well. This is very, very important when you are provided perimeter and you are provided its two base angle. So here what we need to do, it's super easy, very easy. Let's say you are provided the value of BC plus CA plus AB. Okay, this value is given to you. Okay, or this value will be provided to you in the problem. Clear? So in the very first step, you have to draw a line segment whose length must be equal to the perimeter of the triangle which is provided to you. Okay, so let's say this is the length you have, xy. Clear? So after doing this, what you have to do is, because you are provided two base angle as well, so you have to make both the angles at the ends of this line segment. So you have to make LXY, which is equal to angle B, MXY, which is equal to angle C. Since we are not aware of those angles here, so I'm taking any arbitrary value. Okay. So let's say this is one of the angle you have. Okay, LXY, and this is the second angle you have. Clear? MXY, YX. Okay, so we can draw this. Okay. After that, what you need to do is you need to bisect these two angles. And when you will bisect these two angles, the bisector of these two angles will certainly meet at some point. You are going to call that point as A. So if I bisect this angle X, let me select another color. So if I bisect this angle X by taking more than half of it, let's say this is the bisector of angle X. We learn how we bisect it. And if I bisect angle Y, all right, then the bisector of these two angles are going to meet each other at some point, and you are going to call that particular point as A. Understood? After you are done with this, we are left with two more steps. Like you have to draw the perpendicular bisector of both of them. Like you have to draw perpendicular bisector of AX. You have to draw perpendicular bisector of AY. So if I draw the perpendicular bisector of AX, let's say, okay, we learn how we draw perpendicular bisector. Let's assume this is the perpendicular bisector of AX. Then that perpendicular bisector of AX is going to meet, or it is going to intersect XY at some point for sure, right or no? And we are going to call that particular point as B. And the perpendicular bisector of AX as well, AY, sorry, that is also going to cut this XY at some point, and you are going to call that point as C. Let's say this is the perpendicular bisector we have. So that perpendicular bisector is going to cut XY at some point. We are going to call it C. And after that, we are at the final step. All you have to do is you have to join A to B. Clear? You have to join A to this point C. Clear? And you will get your triangle which they asked you in the problem. One second, let me join A and C once more. Okay, so in this triangle ABC that we got, automatically this value that you have will be equals to the value that you are provided in the problem. This value will be equal to the value that you were provided in the problem. And if you add AB, the length of AB, the length of BC, and the length of AC, that will be equals to the value that you have been provided in the problem. Like no other change will be there. So this is a rough figure, and this is what the perfect figure will look like when you will do it, or when you will construct it using the construct like geometry box. So go through it, ask me if you have any query before we take one example based on it, guys. Any doubt anybody has in this topic? This is very, very important. I think there are two questions that are given in your NCRT based on this. Make sure that you practice both of them apart from one example. So overall, there are around 3 questions in your NCRT. Make sure you do all the 3 that are there in your NCRT. They will ask you question from NCRT only. Okay, so don't worry about that. So we have one example. So we have to construct a triangle ABC whose perimeter is equal to 15 centimeter. ABC is 60 degree and ACB is 30 degree. All right. So here what are we provided? We are provided AB plus BC plus CA. That's equal to 15 centimeter. All right. So perimeter is provided and 2 base angles are provided. We have to construct this quadrilateral. Let's see how we can do it. So as mentioned in the last in the last slide, what you have to do first, you have to draw a line segment whose length is equal to the perimeter which is provided to you. That's equal to 15 centimeter. So let's say this is what the line segment is, XY. And I'm assuming this XY is equal to what? This XY, the length of XY is equal to 15 centimeter. Understood? Now, what are we provided? What else are we provided? We are provided 2 base angles as well. One of the angle we are provided is 60 degree. The other angle that we are provided is 30 degrees. So we have to make both these angles at point X and Y respectively. And since both the angles are multiple of 15 degree, we can easily draw them using compass. Okay. So assuming X to be the center, marking an arc of any radius, then this point we are going to assume as a center. This first arc is going to give me what we call as 60 degree. So this is going to be a 60 degree. Understood? Here, because we have to draw 30 degree, we all know what 30 degree is. 30 degree is actually, you can get 30 degree by bisecting 60 degree. Okay. So assuming Y to be the center, then arc of any radius, then let's say this is your 60 degree. Clear? This is your 60 degree. Then we are going to bisect it. If you bisect it, you will be getting 30 degree. Clear? This is your 30 degree. One second, let me redraw it. Clear? So this will be your 30 degree. Right? What was the next step that we discussed? If you all remember, we have to bisect both these angles. Like this angle is 60 degree. So here 60 degree needs to be bisected. This angle is 30 degree. So on this side where we have Y, this 30 degree needs to be bisected. So let's do the bisection. So if you bisect it, let's say this is what the bisector is. And if you bisect 30 degree, you have to assume these 2 points at the center and mark an arc which are going to cut each other at some point. And let's assume this is what the bisector is. Clear? Right? So these 2 bisectors that you have drawn, what will happen? these two bisectors are going to cut each other at some point. Yes or no? uh, this was the bisector. These two bisectors are going to cut each other at one point. You are going to call that one point as A, because that point where these two bisectors are intersecting each other, that point is going to act as one of the vertex of this triangle ABC, and that vertex is A. Okay. Apart from that, now what is the next step you have? In the next step, you have to draw the perpendicular bisectors of this AX that you have and that AY, both the line segments. So if you want to draw the perpendicular bisector of AX, you have to take more than half of its length. Okay, and make two arcs on both the sides. And these two arcs will cut each other. Similarly, if you want to draw the perpendicular bisector of AY, what you need to do? You need to take more than half of the length of AY and mark two arcs here. 1, 2. Okay. Now what do we need to do? We need to join these two arcs that you have by a straight line. Okay. So I will change them, right? So these two arcs we have to join using a ruler. Now these two arcs that we have joined, they are intersecting. They are intersecting XY at some point, and we are going to give a name to those points. This point will be called as B. That point will be called as C. Is that clear? Now all you have to do is you have to join AB. You have to join AB. And you have to join AC. Okay. After joining AB and AC, you will get your required triangle quite easily. That's it. Okay. That's it. Clear? So this ABC that we got here, that's our required triangle. Clear? ABC. So this will satisfy all the conditions. Your angle A, angle B here will be equals to, your angle B here will be equal to 60 degree automatically. This angle C will be equal to 30 degree automatically. And if you add AB, BC and AC. So here AB, BC and AC, the sum of all the three sides, that will be equal to the perimeter. That's equal to 15 centimeter as we are provided in this problem. So we perform the exact steps that we discussed right now before this. And if you do, or if you perform those steps perfectly, then I believe there is no reason you will get incorrect figure. Okay. But yes, you have to be a little bit careful when you are doing any problem related to construction, because a minor error means your incorrect result. Yeah. So go through it and ask me in case of any query, guys. Done? Okay. So here the steps are given for your help, guys. Please go through them. I would highly recommend to go through each and every steps. Okay. Like a step 1, they have drawn that line segment whose length is equal to the perimeter. Then at X and Y, they drew the angles which we were provided here. Okay. And after that, what they did is they bisected those two angles. After bisecting them, those two angles met each other at a point. Those two line segments met each other at point. We call that point of intersection A. Then we drew the perpendicular bisector. Both the perpendicular bisector met that XY 2 points. We call them B and C, and therefore we got our required triangle. So I would highly recommend that you go through all the steps, all the 10 steps that are mentioned here, because in case they ask you to write the steps of construction in your examination, you will be able to do it quite easily. That's why. Okay. So after this, you have to practice these two questions, guys. These two questions are based on the topic that we discussed just now. So in the first problem, you have to construct a triangle ABC in which base is provided, one of the base angle is provided, and the difference of another other two sides are provided. So this problem is based on our case one, where when we discussed how a triangle can be constructed when base angle and the difference of other two sides are provided. And the second problem is based on case two, which is important, that how a triangle can be constructed when you are provided this perimeter, which is equal to 10 centimeter in this situation, and you are provided both the base angles. So these two problems you have to try as a homework. In case you feel any problem or get stuck anywhere, feel free to get in touch with your expert. They will help you out with that. And so let us quickly revisit the topics that we did today. The very first topic was how a triangle we can be constructed when you are provided base, you are provided one of the base angle, and you are provided the difference of other two sides. And in this case we learned two sub cases, right or not? One of the case was when AB is greater than AC, and the second was when AC was greater than AB. More or less the steps that you have to follow to do the construction were similar. The second case, which was very important, like how a triangle can be constructed when you are provided the perimeter of that particular triangle and you are provided the two angles that are there in the base, then how that construction can be done. That was our second case. I hope both are clear to all of you. So that is it from this session. Thank you so much for attending. Have a great day. Goodbye. See you in the next session.